You have probably been told that if a woman is not interested, you should give up or try harder to prove yourself. But here is the uncomfortable truth, folks. Most men lose her attention because they do the thing that kills attraction. They chase. They text too much. They become too available. They explain their value, compete with other men, and treat her attention like a prize they have to earn. The more they try to make her want them, the more she feels their need. Maybe you know that feeling, my friend. She replies cold. She takes hours to answer. She seems interested one day and distant the next. So you lean in harder. You send another message. You try to be funnier, kinder, more impressive, more available. But instead of pulling her closer, you push your masculine presence lower. The solution is not begging. It is not fake pickup lines. It is not manipulating her emotions. The solution is learning how female psychology responds to space, mystery, confidence, restraint, and emotional presence. A woman may not miss a man who is chasing her, but she can start thinking about the man whose absence feels different. In this video, you will learn how to stop chasing her desire, make silence magnetic, stop being too available, keep her curious, and build the kind of confidence that creates attraction without desperation. Stay with me, because this can change how she feels when you are not around. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stop chasing her desire. Let's be honest, folks. The harder you chase her desire, the faster you make it disappear. A woman may enjoy attention, but she does not crave a man who throws his value at her feet and waits to be picked. Chasing feels like effort to you. To her, it often feels like pressure, need, and emotional oversupply. That is where most men get it wrong. They think if she is not interested, they need to do more, text more, compliment more, explain more, prove more, show her they are different from every other man. But my friend, desire does not grow because you present it. Attraction is not a courtroom. You cannot argue a woman into wanting you. The more you chase, the more you show that her attention has become the prize, and your dignity has become the payment. Look at Stephen, 48, a sales director in Phoenix. He met Michelle, 43, at a wine tasting hosted by a mutual friend. Michelle was attractive, confident, and carried herself with that calm, feminine energy that made Stephen feel immediately drawn in. She laughed at his jokes, touched his arm once during the conversation, and gave him enough warmth to make him believe something was there. So Stephen leaned in. The next morning, he texted her. She replied politely. Later that day, he sent another message, then a picture from the event, then a joke about the wine they both liked. Michelle responded, but her replies grew shorter. Stephen felt the distance, and instead of stepping back, he pushed harder. He asked when she was free, then followed up, then said he hoped he was not bothering her. That one sentence told her everything. He had moved from interest to insecurity. And once a woman feels that shift, the tension changes. She is no longer wondering about you. She is managing your need. That is not attractive. That is not magnetic. That does not create desire. It creates pressure. Desire needs room, mystery, and a man who is steady. This is the first rule. Stop chasing her desire. Make your interest clear once with confidence, then give space. If she meets you with warmth, continue. If she gives dry energy, step back. Not to punish her, not to manipulate her, to protect your frame. A man with self-respect does not flood a woman with attention just because she is beautiful. He does not treat her silence like an emergency. He does not double his effort every time she halves hers. He understands that desire needs space to breathe. If you stand too close to a fire, you do not make it warmer, you suffocate it. The Stoic lesson here is simple. Control what is yours. Your pace, your tone, your restraint, your standards. Her attraction is not yours to force. Her interest is not yours to manufacture. Your job is not to chase her into wanting you. Your job is to become the kind of man who does not lose himself when she is uncertain. Stephen finally learned this after Michelle stopped responding altogether. Instead of sending one more message, he stopped. He went back to his routine, his work, his gym, his friends. 2 weeks later, Michelle liked one of his posts and sent a casual message asking how he had been. But by then Stephen had learned the bigger lesson. His power was not in getting her attention. His power was in not needing it anymore. That is what women feel. A man who can want without begging. A man who can desire without chasing. A man who can step back without bitterness. If you are ready to stop chasing desire, write this in the comments. I stop chasing. Stay with me because the next part shows why silence can create more pull than another message ever could. Number 2. Make silence feel magnetic. Now listen carefully, folks, because silence is where most men either become powerful or expose their need. When a woman is not giving you real interest, the average man panics. He sends another text. Then another. He checks whether she read it. He tries to restart the conversation with a joke, a question, a compliment, anything to get a pulse from her. But my friend, every unnecessary message lowers the value of the next one. Words lose weight when they are too available. If you are always texting good morning, checking in at lunch, asking how her day went and ending the night with another soft message, you may think you are building connection. But what you are really doing is removing tension. You are teaching her that your attention is guaranteed, and guaranteed attention rarely feels exciting. Silence changes that. Silence creates space in her mind. It gives her room to wonder where you are, what you are doing, why your energy is no longer flowing toward her on demand. That wondering is important, because attraction does not grow only through contact. Sometimes it grows through absence. Sometimes the most powerful message is the one you do not send. If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in external matters. In this context, that means stop trying to manage how she sees every moment of your silence. Let her wonder. Let her misunderstand for a minute. Let her sit with the space. You do not need to explain your restraint to someone who has not earned constant access to you. Attention is currency. If you hand it out like loose change, she will treat it like loose change. But when your attention becomes selective, it starts carrying value. Not because you are playing games, but because you are respecting your own energy. A man who can hold back his words shows that he is not ruled by impulse. He has a life. He has purpose. He has emotional control. Quiet control gives his presence a sharper edge, the kind a woman can feel before she can explain why it affects her. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Her delayed reply is an outside event. Her dry answer is an outside event. Her uncertainty is an outside event. Your response is where your power lives. If you respond to every shift with anxiety, you train yourself to be controlled by her rhythm. If you respond with calm silence, you take your rhythm back. Now, do not twist this into childish ignoring. Silence is not punishment. Silence is not acting cold just to trigger her. Silence is balance. If she gives low effort, you do not reward it with high investment. If she takes hours to respond with 3 words, you do not send a paragraph. If the conversation dies, you let it die. Dead energy does not need CPR from a man with self-respect. The key is to make silence feel grounded, not bitter. You do not disappear with anger. You simply return your attention to your own life. Work, train, read, handle your business. Spend time with people who already value your presence. Let her feel that your world continues without her immediate response. That is what makes silence magnetic. It shows that you can desire without chasing care, without clinging, and step back without losing your center. A woman may ignore constant words, but she will notice a man whose absence suddenly has weight and creates clean tension another text could never create. If you are ready to let your silence carry value, write this in the comments. I choose silence. Let's keep going because the next part shows why being too available makes even a good man easy to forget. Number 3. Stop being always available. Let's get honest. Folks, being available all the time does not make you more valuable. It makes you predictable. And predictable when it comes to attraction usually becomes forgettable. A woman may appreciate a man who is kind. She may respect a man who is reliable. But if your reliability turns into dropping everything the second she gives you a little attention, you are no longer showing strength. You are showing that your life can be interrupted by her mood. That is where availability becomes weakness. Too many men think constant access is romantic. They answer every text instantly. They cancel plans with friends just in case she wants to meet. They keep their evenings open hoping she chooses them. They say yes before they even check their own schedule. On the surface that looks generous. Underneath it says, my time has no boundary when you are involved. And my friend, women feel that. Think about Harold, 52, an insurance broker in Orlando. He started talking to Lisa, 46, a stylish woman he met at a networking dinner. Lisa was attractive, playful, and had that confident feminine energy that made Harold feel seen again after years of dating disappointment. At first she enjoyed his attention. He replied quickly. He offered help. He made time. He was easy to reach. Then Harold made the mistake of becoming too available. If Lisa texted during his workday, he answered within minutes. If she mentioned being bored, he rearranged his night. If she cancelled plans, he told her it was fine and waited for her to suggest another time. One Saturday, he skipped a golf outing with two close friends because Lisa said she might be free later. She never confirmed. Harold spent the evening checking his phone, pretending he was relaxed while feeling smaller by the hour. That is not masculine presence. That is emotional standby. Here is the problem. When a man is always available, he removes the natural tension that makes attention feel meaningful. There is no curiosity, no anticipation, no sense that his time is valuable. She does not have to wonder when she will hear from him, because he is always there. She does not have to invest, because he keeps showing up for both people. Availability becomes cheap when it has no standard. Do not misunderstand this. I am not telling you to play games or act busy to seem important. That is childish. I am telling you to actually have a life. Have work that matters. Have friends you keep your word to. Have a body. You train goals, you protect routines, you respect and quiet time that does not get sacrificed just because a beautiful woman sends a message. That is attractive because it is real. When Harold finally saw what he was doing, he stopped living on call. He kept his plans. He answered when he was available, not when anxiety told him to prove interest. He told Lisa, I already have plans tonight, but I am free Thursday. Calm, simple, no apology, no performance. Lisa noticed the shift because suddenly his time had structure. His warmth remained, but his access was no longer automatic, and that made every moment with him feel more intentional. And structure creates value. A woman does not miss a man who is always standing beside the door waiting to be invited in. She misses the man whose presence feels good and whose absence reminds her that he has a life beyond her attention. That is the balance. Warm but not waiting. Interested but not idle. Available when it is earned, not guaranteed. If you are ready to protect your time, write this in the comments. I value time. Stay with me because the next part shows how curiosity and mystery keep her mind engaged longer than over-explaining ever will. Number 4. Keep her curious longer. Now listen closely, folks, because curiosity is one of the strongest forces in attraction. A woman may notice your looks, your voice, your confidence, even the way you carry masculine tension in a room. But what keeps her mind returning to you is not what you reveal immediately. It is what she still wants to discover. That is why too much information too soon can kill the spark. A lot of men think connection means full disclosure. They tell her every plan, every feeling, every insecurity, every story from the past, every detail of where they are going and what they are doing. They think honesty means becoming an open book from the first conversation. But my friend, an open book can be respected and still not be intriguing. If she knows every page too early, there is nothing left for her imagination to touch. Let me be clear, this is not about lying. A Stoic man does not deceive. He does not invent mystery through dishonesty. He simply understands restraint. He knows that not every thought needs to be spoken, not every feeling needs to be announced, and not every part of his life needs to be placed on the table before trust has earned it. Epictetus said, "Nature gave us one tongue and 2 ears, so we could hear twice as much as we speak." That applies here. Speak with purpose. Listen more than you perform. Let your words carry weight instead of spilling them everywhere. A man who talks just to fill space often exposes his need for approval. A man who can hold silence without discomfort creates tension, and tension matters. Attraction is not built only through comfort. Comfort makes her feel safe, but mystery makes her lean closer. She wants to feel there is more beneath the surface, more discipline, more depth, more experience, more controlled fire. If you explain everything too quickly, you remove the chase from her mind. If you hold something back with calm confidence, you give her curiosity a place to grow. Think of a good movie. If the whole story is revealed in the first scene, you stop caring. The suspense is gone. The emotional pull disappears. A man is no different. If you tell her too soon how much you like her, how long you have been waiting for someone like her, how badly you want her attention, you may think you are being sincere, but often you are removing the very tension that could have made her desire grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be silent for the most part, or say only what is necessary." That is not coldness, that is command. Say less but mean more. Share enough to connect, not so much that you become predictable. Let her discover your life through layers, not through a rushed presentation. Your restraint creates room for her imagination, and imagination is where attraction often starts breathing on its own, especially when you stop forcing certainty too early. And folks, if you want deeper members-only lessons on masculine communication, emotional restraint and building attraction without chasing, join the channel membership. Inside we go further into real situations, what to say, what not to say, when to speak, and when silence makes your presence stronger. So keep her curious longer. Do not over-explain your schedule. Do not narrate every emotion. Do not confess your whole heart before she has invested anything real. Be honest, but be measured. Be warm, but not exposed. Be present, but not fully decoded. A woman remembers the man who gives her something to wonder about. If you are ready to speak with more power and less need, write this in the comments. I stay mysterious. Do not go anywhere, because the next part shows why competing for her attention is one of the fastest ways to lose her respect. Number 5. Never compete for attention. Let's be blunt, folks. The moment you compete for a woman's attention, you place yourself beneath it. You turn her focus into a trophy, and you turn yourself into one of the men trying to win a spot in her mind. That is not masculine. That is not attractive. That is emotional bidding. And women feel it. A lot of men do this without realizing it. She posts a picture, and they rush to comment. Another man jokes with her, and suddenly they try to be funnier. She gets attention from other men, and they start working harder, texting more, complimenting more, trying to prove they are the better option. But my friend, the second you start competing like that, you stop feeling like a man with standards, and start looking like a man asking to be picked. Look at Raymond, 55, a sales consultant in Scottsdale. He met Danielle, 48, at a business mixer. Danielle was polished, attractive, and knew exactly how much attention she had when she walked into a room. Raymond liked her confidence. He liked the way she smiled at him, the way she held eye contact, the way she made the conversation feel charged. But Danielle had options, and Raymond saw them. There was another man at the mixer, younger, louder, quick, with jokes always close to her side. Raymond felt that heat in his chest. Instead of staying centered, he started performing. He laughed harder. He interrupted more. He mentioned his income, his trips, his connections. Later, when Danielle posted a photo from the event, Raymond commented within minutes, hoping she would notice him before the other guy did. That is where he lost power. Not because the other man was better, not because Danielle was wrong for getting attention. Raymond lost power because he let another man's presence change his frame. He stopped being himself and started auditioning. And nothing kills sexual tension faster than a man who looks like he is trying to prove he deserves the room. A grounded man does not compete for attention. He observes whether attention is mutual. If a woman enjoys games, ego, feeding, and making men fight for a glance, he does not step into that arena. He steps back. Not bitter, not offended, just clear. Because his time focus and masculine energy are not cheap. This is what most men need to understand. You do not become more desirable by fighting harder for her attention. You become more desirable by refusing to lower yourself for it. The man who knows his worth does not panic when other men appear. He does not start comparing bodies, money, age, status, or charm. He understands that if his presence is not enough to be respected, chasing respect will not create it. Raymond learned this after Danielle gave him polite but distant replies. He realized he had been acting like a contestant instead of a man, so he stopped. The next time he saw her, he was calm, friendly. He did not hover. He did not compete. He spoke, smiled, and returned to his own circle. Danielle noticed the shift, because now he was no longer chasing her attention. He was owning his. That is the difference. If she is interested, she will make it clear through effort, warmth, curiosity, and consistency. If she only responds when you compete, then what she wants is not connection. She wants validation. And a man with self-respect does not feed a woman's ego just to feel chosen. So stop fighting for the spotlight. Be the standard. Let other men scramble if they want to. You stand still, grounded, selective, and calm. That kind of restraint carries more pull than any desperate performance. If you are ready to stop competing for attention, write this in the comments. I never compete. Stay close, because the next part shows why real confidence creates more desire than affection alone ever could. Number 6. Let confidence create desire. Here is the hard truth, folks. Love does not create desire by itself. Attention does not create desire by itself. Being nice, available, sweet, supportive, and emotionally open will not make a woman feel pulled toward you if there is no confidence underneath it. Confidence is the spark that makes your presence felt. A lot of men think affection is enough. They believe if they care harder, text longer, compliment more, and prove they are different, she will finally feel something. But my friend, affection without confidence often feels heavy. It feels like need. It feels like a man offering his heart before he has shown that he can stand firmly on his own 2 feet. And women can sense that. Real confidence is not arrogance. It is not bragging about money, status, women, or success. Arrogance is loud because it is trying to cover insecurity. Confidence is quieter. It is the way you hold eye contact without begging, the way you speak without rushing, the way you make decisions without looking around for approval, the way you can enjoy a woman's beauty without acting like it has made you lose control. That is what creates desire. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That is the foundation of confidence. If you cannot master your impulses, your need for reassurance, your hunger for her approval, then your attraction will always carry tension in the wrong way. Not masculine tension, nervous tension, the kind that makes her feel your need instead of your strength. A confident man does not chase a reaction. He creates a presence. He does not try to convince her that he is valuable. He moves like a man who already knows his value and is simply seeing whether she recognizes it. That shift changes everything. It removes pressure. It makes your affection feel chosen, not desperate. It makes your attention feel earned, not spilled everywhere. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That is confidence in action. Stop explaining that you are different. Be different. Stop telling her you are loyal. Live with standards. Stop saying you are strong. Show restraint when your ego wants to react. Stop hoping she will believe in your worth. Build a life that makes your worth visible without a speech. This is why confidence is more addictive than love. Love can comfort a woman, but confidence activates respect. And respect is what allows desire to grow without turning into pity. When she feels that you are not emotionally dependent on her response, she relaxes into your presence differently. She can feel warmth from you without feeling responsible for holding you together. That is powerful. A man with confidence can be kind without being soft. He can be direct without being needy. He can flirt without performing. He can walk away without bitterness. He can say no without over-explaining. He can let silence sit in the room without rushing to fill it. That kind of control creates a subtle sexual charge because it shows strength contained, not strength begging to be noticed. So if you want her desire to wake up, stop trying to purchase it with over-affection. Build confidence through action. Train your body. Keep your word. Handle your business. Protect your time. Speak honestly. Walk away from disrespect. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes proof, and proof becomes confidence. Over time, that proof changes your posture, your voice, and the way she feels your presence. When confidence is real, she feels it before you say a word. If you are ready to carry yourself with earned confidence, write this in the comments. I carry confidence. Stick with me, because the next part shows how making her feel your absence can awaken desire faster than constant attention ever could. Number 7. Make her feel your absence. Let's be honest, folks. Nothing makes a woman notice a man faster than realizing his attention is no longer guaranteed. Not because you are trying to punish her, not because you are playing some cheap game, but because human beings value what they can lose, and too many men make themselves impossible to lose. They are always there, always texting, always checking in, always ready to respond, always available for her boredom, her moods, her mixed signals, and her half-effort. Then they wonder why she does not miss them. She cannot miss what never leaves. Absence creates contrast. Contrast creates curiosity. Curiosity creates emotional movement, and emotional movement is where desire begins to wake up. Look at Victor, 51, a commercial pilot from Miami. He started talking to Angela, 46, a stylish woman who owned a boutique fitness studio. Angela was confident, attractive, and carried that feminine energy that made Victor feel a strong pull. At first, she seemed interested.